Hi, hey guys, myself So here. Fourth arena run, very cool. And we are going to go with Pally, Druid, or Warrior. I played Paladins to some degree, and Druid as well. Warrior I also played it several times, but I really want to try Druid. Paladin is probably the strongest class in arena out of these three. But I haven't played Druid for a long time, so let's go with Druid. I haven't played Druid for a long time, by the way, so this might be a really bad arena run. Let's see. Recycle is kind of like a naturalize, but they actually keep the creature, and it's also 6 mana. Keeper of the Grove. I like the silence. It's very versatile. Deal 2 damage or silence. This card is very good in arena. You can just pick some low cost beasts, and then you can combo it and get a 7/7. Elven Archer is kind of useless. Why? Because your hero power does 1 damage. Stormwind Knight or Dragon Mechanic. Dragon Mechanic again, the 2/1 is gonna get pinged off. So the Stormwind Knight is better in this case, since it has 2 damage and he can trade for 2 low creatures. So I'm gonna take the Stormwind Knight. Moonfire, 0 mana, does 1 damage. This might have some use in the early game, like in the turn 1, turn 2, when you're like 1 damage short from killing an opponent minions, but in the late games, it's the same thing as your hero power. Puddle Stomper is a fine 2-drop, it has 3/2 damage, which is pretty good. Mechanical Yeti, this card is also good, but problem is it gives your opponent a card. I don't like to give my opponent a spare part. If it happens to be useful for them, then that means you are at a disadvantage. However, Puddle Stomper is a very solid 2-drop. Big Game Hunter, Ancient of War, or Force of Nature. In this case, I'm going to pick Ancient of War because that's going to be very hard to remove. 5/10, in few really rare cases, a 10/5 is going to be a pain for your opponent to deal with unless they have silence. Big Game Hunter, on the other hand, you have to rely on your opponents have big creatures, and then that's not always the case. So I'm going to pick Ancient of War. Again, Force of Nature. Force of Nature, when I first playing Druid, my first arena run with Druid, I picked 2 Force of Nature. I was like, wow, that card is so good. 6 mana for 3 2/2s. Well, that deck went 0/3, and I know this is something you don't pick in arena if you cannot combo the card, because they die at the end. It does, well, if you have, let's say, Cult Master, then yeah, you can use it. You can play that card, but usually you don't. It's really hard to pull off. It's 10 mana, you have to have 2 cards, and you draw 3 cards. It's just a very clunky mechanic. Boulderfist Ogre is a solid 6-drop, 6 for 6/7 is a very good stat. 7 stat, 7 health is really hard to get rid of, and 6 life. The thing about 6 life is it doesn't die to Big Game Hunter. And it also only dies to Priest Shadow Word Death. That's a card that kills it instantly. Flesh Eating Rule is a mediocre 3-drop with a 2/3. You have to have something to die. So usually when you play this, you can trade a minion to another minion. So it maybe comes up as a 3/4/3. Blind Machine is the worst, but we don't pick this card. No. So the question is, do I want the Flesh Eating Rule or the Boulderfist Ogre? Well, even though I have a lot of high drops, I have 2 high drops. But since this is only our 5th pick, I'm going to pick the Boulderfist Ogre. Naturalize is really desperate. If you have to get rid of a minion your opponent has, you play it Naturalize, but like someone once said, I think it was Crip, if you had to play Naturalize, that means you lost the game already. Spider Tank, on the other hand, is a very solid 3-drop. The 4 health makes it traded to in 2 or probably 2 drops. And Weblord is not going to be very useful in arena. 1 damage and the battle cry cost makes this card not really good. Okay, Spider Tank. I'm gonna pick the Spider Tank. Again, I can either pick Glue or Micro Machine. Which one is gonna be more useful? This card I can play on turn 3. This card I can play on turn 2. I'm gonna go with Micro Machine, because this card is gonna be a 2 for 2 at your opponent's turn and a 3/2 at your turn. This one also doesn't require minions to die, which this mechanic doesn't always come up. And lastly, this is a max, so maybe we'll get some max synergies in the later things. Wisp, no. Dark Iron Dwarf. This is going to be the card we pick. Dark Iron Dwarf. Because Murloc Tidehunter is fine if you play this on turn 2, it becomes a 2/1 and 1/1. Then you may be able to trade into an opponent's 2/2. But most of the time, they're just able to ping this off and then trade their 3/2 into your 1/1, and then you're left with nothing. This one, however, is you can use this card to make very good trades at turn 4. Make the board being at turn 4 in your favor. These 3 are not good picks. Recycle, like I said earlier, too much mana cost. It's basically like a soul siphon, but it doesn't kill the creatures and you don't get your health back. Demolisher is also bad because of the 1 damage. 1 damage in Arena is basically really useless unless it has something really good. It has really good stats, and due to damage to a random, keep in mind, random enemy is not that helpful. I'm tempted to pick Recycle because Ancient Mage, I don't have any spells, do I? I don't. I'm gonna pick Recycle. Okay, Spiteful Smith has a solid 6 stats. Blastcell Raider is a fine 2-drop, and Spectral Knight has a really good 6 stats. The difference between these two is if you are playing a priest, this is your pick if you're playing a priest, because you can trade something and heal it up. But I'm not a priest, and this one cannot be targeted by hero power. So I'm going to pick this one because if I play this on turn 5, it's going to be a lot harder for my opponent to deal with. Druid of the Fang, Wrath, or Torn Warrior. Okay, I already have one on Druid of the Fang, and I have no beast yet. I have to keep in mind that if I pick too many of these cards and I don't have a beast, then my Druid of the Fang just becomes a dead card in my deck. I'm 11 cards in, I haven't found a beast. Wrath is also a good card. Torn Warrior is not a good taunt. 3 health is too low. If you play this late game, it just dies to a lot of things. Wrath, the good thing about Wrath is you can either use it to cycle a card, or you can use it to deal 3 damage and kill a creature. It's basically like a Mortal Coil, but you get to choose if you want to actually kill something or draw a card. So I would pick Wrath. Moonfire, again, we said, is not the card we want to pick. Gurubashi Berserker, this card have the potential to be really dangerous, but in Arena, if they don't have a way to deal with Gurubashi Berserker, they are pretty much screwed. But most of the time they do. Acolyte of Pain, at least you can get a card draw off of it. And right now, I think I will pick Acolyte of Pain for a potential card draw. Archmage, Trog, or Inventor. Let's see. 13 cards, we're almost at the halfway point. We have a lot of late games. We don't have many early games. We do have 2 card draw mechanics. So we're not picking the Gnomish Inventor. We do have a big creatures, big bodies to stick on board, so I'm not going to pick the Archmage. I'm going to pick the Trog. 2 for 3 is fine. it might have the potential to become a 3/3. This is interesting. Moonfire, not gonna pick it again. Not gonna pick it. A Money Berserker with Enrage +3 or Tinkerton. This is a Mac. I can combo with this card if I play this. If I play this after the turn I play Micro Machine. I can also combo with this card, so I have 2 Macs. I'm gonna pick Tinkerton. Okay. Raging Worgen or Sun Cleric. I'm leaning towards Sun Cleric for the reason that it gives another minion 1/1. This allows you to trade, for example, if you have a 2/3 like this one and they plays a Trog, you can on turn 3 can use your Shatter Sun Cleric to buff this into a 3/4, kills their 2/3. And then you still have a buddy. You still have a 3/1 and a 3/2 on board. Okay, interesting. Do we pick the Beast for the Beast synergy or do we go for Starfire? Well, Starfire, as you can see, if you saw my last video when I got 2/3 with the what is the hero called? In my last video, I basically got wrecked by Starfire. I played the Yeti on turn 4. He Starfired my Yeti because he innovated. He was able to wild growth the previous turn, so he has 7 mana. And I basically never came back from the game after that point. So this is a really good card. It just kills a big creature right off the bat. However, I do want to get at least a beast to get my synergies. Now, which one do I want to pick? Do I want to pick for the 2 for 2/3 or 3 for the 3/3? Now, if I want to get this synergy, I want to play something that sticks on board. 3/3 taunt is fine for a taunt, but the problem is, if it's a taunt, then people might tend to kill it off right immediately. And if I play this, I can combo play the Grizzly and play the Fang on turn 8. But if I play the River Croc, which is fine by itself on turn 2, I can play the River of the Fang on turn 7. If I want to combo them both. And right now, do I need taunt? Well, I would need taunt if I have a lot of late games, but I think my early game is fine, so I don't need the taunt right now. I'm going to pick the River Croc. Okay. We are given the choice of Sheep, Frost Elemental, Stormwind Champion. I really want to get a board removal because I don't have one. But I don't have any way to activate this board removal. Well, except for one, this rest. I can use on turn 4. If I really need to remove the board, I can Sheep and then rest my Sheep for 1 damage and draw a card. That is acceptable. Stormwind Champion or Frost Elemental, which one do I pick? Well, I do have a lot of good big creatures. Those can count as big creatures, 5. Frost Elemental is a good control card, 6 for a 5/5. I have 17 cards in. I will pick Frost Elemental because at turn 6 I can freeze a minion, stop them from able to attack next turn, and then trade with the board I have. Again, any of these 3 picks are good potentials. I'm just going to pick this one because I want to pick a little bit more control. A mech. Okay, this is not getting picked. Yeah, it's a beast. Yeah, it's a 1 mana. Yeah, I can come up with this one, but I only have 1 Druid of the Fang. Clockwork Gnome is fine for a 1-drop, but it has 1 health. If this is not a mech, I might be considering picking this one, but this is also a mech, and it's a Druid specific mech, so it's better than common cards that are not class specific. And I can use it to become either a River Cross or a Tiger. And lastly, I can use it to combo with Tinkerton Technician. So this is definitely the best pick of the thing. I can either draw cards, Demolisher, or Argus. Best pick I would say is Argus. because again, I don't really want to give my opponent cards. Demolisher, as I said earlier, is 1 damage, and the deal 2 damage is way too unreliable. So we're going to go with Defender. Soul of the Forest, Dark Healer, and Raid Leader. Raid Leader. Raid Leader is like a clunkier version of the Shattered Sun Cleric. It lets you buff the other minion by 1 attack, so you can trade with a bigger creature. But by itself, 2/2 for 3 mana is really bad. Dark Healer has some potential. You can use it to heal up your big creatures, and since Druid doesn't have many other methods of healing, this is fine. Soul of the Forest is similar in mechanic as like remove your minion and replace it with a 2/2. So you can trade your minion like a 4/3 and choose your minion with a 4/4, and then you have a 2/2. But most of the times, if I'm going to do a good trade, I'm going to use 4/6 to trade into their 4/4 and then have a 4/2. And then I can use a Dark Healer to bring it back to a 4/4. But if I have Soul of the Forest, it dies and becomes a 2/2, so it actually loses damage. Therefore, this is good if I have a lot of small stuff. But if I have a lot of big stuff, it loses attack. So, turn 4. And also keep in mind, this is 4 mana. 4 mana. 4 mana is basically the turn I use Dark-Eyed Dwarf to buff one of my small things, so I can trade with the big things. And Soul of the Forest doesn't do that. At least Dark Scale Healer, when I play this at turn 5, I can heal up my smaller stuff, such as this or this one, then bring them back to full life and gain value on the thing. Also keep in mind the mana. I have a lot of 2s, 3s, and I'm lacking 5, so yeah, it fits in the mana curve really well. That's a good taunt, that's a good 1-drop, that's a good 1-drop in constructed if I have a lot of Death Rattles. Do I have a lot of Death Rattles? I don't have any Death Rattles. So I don't have any Death Rattles, not taking Undertakers. Do I want the taunt or do I want a Zombie Troll? Well, it depends. Zombie Troll, if you play this late game with no combo and you're both at top decking mode, is basically a free 5 heal for your opponent. Singeing Shieldmaster is a really good taunt. And even though I don't have any 1-drops right now, I'm tempted to not play Zombie Troll. Not pick Zombie Troll. But, Zombie Troll. Singeing Shieldmaster or Zombie Troll. How much do I want my early board presence to be? Okay, here's the scenario. If we pick Zombie Troll and we play this on turn 1, we can use this to trade into their 2/2s and 2/3s and the 3/2s. And if we're going to play Singeing Shieldmasters, we can use the other cards to trade into their to make them trade into our 3/5, so they lose their 2/2 or 2/3s. But the problem with Singeing Shieldmaster is if they have either Equality or True Silver Champion, and then they nullifies the 5 health and kills it, Singeing Shieldmaster loses a lot of value in that case. So if I want to play defensively, Singeing is a little bit worse than Zombie Troll because you have to rely on your opponent not having answers to your taunt. But if you want to play Zombie Troll, it's a little bit aggressive in the beginning. Actually, I'm gonna go with Zombie Troll. Ogre Brute is a fine 4-drop. It's a 4/4 body. Sometimes kills the wrong target and you get a little bit mad. This is fine. Poison Seeds, even though I don't have a swipe, I don't feel like playing Poison Seeds. Just because if you're losing behind boards, they get more 2/2s than you do. And since I didn't pick my sheep earlier, Poison Seed is not going to be very useful. So I have to just hope either I get a swipe or I get a lot of controls. This is interesting. Give each player a mana crystal or each player draws a card. By itself, 3 mana for 2/4 is a pretty good stat. But the choose one, this part, is the thing I don't like. Both give them a mana crystal or draw a card for opponent. That's pretty big, even though, yes, you get the same thing, but I would say the cat is a lot better. Is a lot better. Is a lot better pick. Wild Growth. Interesting. Wild Growth, if I can play Wild Growth early game, I can shift drastically to mid and late games. And the other two picks, Razorfin Hunter and Raid Leaders. Raid Leaders, again, I need to have other creatures to play this. And Razorfin Hunters is... If it's a 2-drop, it'd be great. If this is a 2-drop, it'd be great, but it's a 3-drop. And for 3-drops, I have a lot of things I want to play on 3. So I'm gonna pick Wild Growth. Dread Corsair, if I have a weapon, it's great, but I don't have a weapon. I already have a Storm of One Night, so I'm not gonna pick it. I'm gonna pick the Fen Creeper. Okay, Syngeon Fieldmaster. I will not pick the Ship Cannon because I don't have Pirates, and I already have an Ogre Brute. 3, 4, 3, 3, and I have a bunch of 2 and 3 drops. Ogre Brute, once you don't need a lot of these because at least their accuracy is 50%. Syngeon Shieldmaster is fine, 3 for 8 or 4 for 8. I'm gonna pick the Syngeon Shieldmaster in this case. Knife Juggler, Azure Drake, Savagery. Azure Drake or Knife Juggler, let's see. Do I have a lot of things to combo up Knife Juggler? No. Is that something I want to play by turn 3 without backing up? Do I want to play this on turn 2 without backup, without any backup? Not really. This is a really good 2-drop, by the way. You'll have a lot of things to play after that. But Azure Drake gives you a card. I'm going to pick the Azure Drake for the card draw. Okay, Claw. Claw is good if you can play this early and use your hero ability plus Claw to get rid of something with 3 health, or trade your minions and get rid of something with more than 3 health. Reckless Rocketeer is great late game if you want to use it to get rid of an enemy high target. Argon Spire is the weakest one because the Divine Shield is not going to be really helpful. It's just going to be a ping bait. So I'm going to pick the Claw. It's a really good pick. Ardent Commander, 6 mana for 4/2 and it does not die. This is also a good pick, but since I already have one, and I need something to bring back the board if possible, I'm going to pick the Archer Commander. Okay. Mana curve is a lot lenient towards late game, and I don't have a swipe, so if I get overrun in the beginning, I have a few mechanics to come back from the game. For example, this is a method. This might help me, but not much. This can help me to stabilize mid-game. This can help me bring back the board, and this is a last resort. Spectral Knight is just a big body. Fen Creeper is a good taunt. This can... Oh, let me see how many beasts I have. I think I just have one. I just have one beast. I might just save this card until way late in the game when I can combo with the... Where is it? When I can combo with Druid of the Fang. Okay, so yeah, this is a fine deck. Maybe I can get something better than 2 wins. who knows? I'll make a video shortly about how this deck goes. Alright, see you guys then.